Now that we've finished doing the presentation and the assembly, I think it's time to start doing some drawing files. So let's open up drawings, and we're going to go to our sheet and edit the sheet to be A-size paper. Make sure you change your border as well. So instead of the ANSI large, you can delete that out. Go into drawing resources under title blocks and put in ANSI A. And now for your base, let's pick some parts. And I think it's best if we start with the envelope. So let me navigate to the right folder here. It's under desktop for me. And Firebox. There's the envelope. And yeah, I think that'll be okay. We'll put in this view. I'm going to show the top and the bottom. I'll show a side view and an isometric view. Notice this doesn't have any of the other parts attached to it. There's no angle iron in here. There's no firebox. It's only the things that actually go with the envelope. So that's what we wanted. Okay, we do need to show a couple of things, like here. Anytime you see something that looks like a circle, show the center mark for it. Looks like that's 14 inches off the back of there. The overall width of this guy is 30 inches. It'd be nice to know this is a 6-inch diameter hole and where that hole is placed with respect to other things. So 13 inches over. And that the whole box, let's move a couple of things around here. That this whole box is 26 inches. Here we have front to back is 26. Does that seem right? Yeah, I think it's what we designed it for. Okay. And let's show what's going on the bottom of this box. Remember, this is the flange that we're creating for the fan to attach to. So over here, I'm going to show that this comes down 3/4 of an inch off the bottom of the box. And I'm going to show the spacing on this side, that there's a 1-inch gap here. That doesn't say 1 inch. And that this whole piece is 4 inches. Looks like we decided to go with 1.125, and that's okay too. Just misremembered. We need to know where this is located, so I know kind of the size. It's 4 inches wide. We don't know how big it is, so let's put in a size dimension first. This is a 12-inch wide piece, and I'll put the number on this side instead. And then it's located 7 inches off that edge. And we'll drag that to the other side here. Okay. So now we have two location dimensions, that it's up 1 1/4 inches and over 7 inches. And we have two size dimensions, that it's 12 inches wide and 4 inches long, or 4 inches tall. Now what we don't have is a way to tell whoever's welding this what kind of weld to use on this. We have these welding symbols, which we haven't used at all yet for different types of symbols. Click on the welding one, click on this top surface here, and we are going to continue with that. This is going to have a fillet weld on both sides. Alright, so fillet on top, fillet on bottom. They're actually 3/16 fillets. And this is shielded metal arc welding, SMAW, shielded metal arc welding, and that might be something I put on a test. So finals coming up here towards the end of the year, something you may want to write down and save for later. We'll make a quick note that this is 1/8-inch steel. I'll put in my name. Title for this is envelope. Scale I didn't pay much attention to. It just kind of came in at the right size. And that's a messy looking scale. So I'm going to make this 1/15 instead. And I think that should still look good. It does, more or less. I just may have to clean this up a little bit. Space it out so it looks nicer. Okay, that looks good for the envelope. Now I'm nitpicking. Alright, ready for a new view, so we go place views, create a new sheet. Second view, let's go ahead and go to your base. We're going to pick the firebox inside, which is just labeled firebox, right? There's the part file. Open that up. And if we wanted to, we can go back and change the color of this. Not necessary really, but definitely something we could do. And I'm seeing an issue with this. I thought for sure we created holes for our tubes, and I don't see holes for the tubes at all. So let's go back to our part file real quick, which is still in here. I can just double click it. Alright. Well, it sure looks like a cutout to me. Oh, you know what? We put a cutout on the front plate. We did not put a cutout on the firebox. So let's make a new sketch. Right click, new sketch. I can just project the geometry of the front plate right onto the, oh, I got them both. The front plate onto the firebox. We can hit extrude, select our two profiles, click, click, that we are going to be cutting 0.125 and say OK. There we go. I thought something seemed off. Let's make sure we save this. Yes to all. OK. And when we go back to our drawings, we'll see that now we have these two cutouts, which is good. Let's go back to annotate. Again, anytime you see a circle, you want to add a center mark. We're going to dimension down to it, 12 inches from the back there. And the whole side is 28. Diameter is 6. Matches the other one. That's good. Distance from the edge, looks like this is 11. These are actually lined up with the thing just below them. There's 16.5 across. Whole box is 22 wide. These are 2 inches all the way around, and because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 of them, I'm going to add a TYP for a typical dimension after that. And I also want to show this spacing here. Actually, I'm going to go all the way down at this one to show that this is offset 2 3/4 of an inch. Okay, it'd probably be good to see how far down that is. 1.44 doesn't seem quite right, so let's double check that. Precision and tolerance, 1.4375 seems a lot nicer. 4375, yeah, 4 digits. That's out just a little bit far. I don't know if it's going to let me put that back in or not. We'll just delete it. And give it one more try. I'll put in a note here, not really a note, put in a dimension here that this is 14.5. See all that work? I'm just going to end up putting it up here anyway. This whole thing is 14.5. And both of these dimensions together should be 22. Excellent. Oh, and I should also say that the distance this is off the bottom is 2 3/4. Because I don't think we have that anywhere else. We have, this is the size dimension, there's the location for it, and there's the other location for it, and there's the other size for it. Cool. This is a flange that we have put on here, so we do need a welding symbol for that. And we're actually going to make a couple connections to it. So it's going to be for this part. I might add a couple more arrowheads to it, but it is going to be fillet on both sides, and is still going to be 3/16, which is your most common weld that you might do. And again, this is SMAW, which for the test again, shielded metal arc welding. And let's just add a couple of leader lines so I can show that this is also happening here. You know what? This arrow's in the wrong spot. And it's not going to let me change that. Oh, let's change it with this arrow. That one doesn't want to change either. Okay, let's try one more time. Leader text. Not all of these edges are going to be welded. This one is. And this one is. We can get away with folding some of this too. So it's a big sheet of metal. We're going to fold some of it, and then for the rest of it, we're, uh-oh. Now we're really in trouble here. Wow, this is really giving me trouble. Alright, so we can fold some of this, and there's other stuff that we can get away with welding instead of folding. So add 3 little arrows there. Looks good. And I forgot to add dimensions on this part. So this whole box is 28 inches long. And if we count the flange as well, that's 29.5, so it's 1.5 inches for the flange. We'll make this shaded. I don't know if we did that to the other one. Did we? Yeah, we did. Put my name in here. Scale, we're going to put back at 1/15. Title, Firebox. And we need to make sure we change the scale to 1/15. We'll pick up with the next video.